we've heard now that Liverpool won't be getting Xabi Alonso, their first choice, who looks like he will stay at Bayer Leverkusen. They're on their way to winning a title, their first trophy, I think, since the 90s. Liverpool are heavily now linked with sporting manager Ruben Amorim. And talkSPORT understands Liverpool have held talks with sporting manager Ruben Amorim, although Liverpool have come out and said this isn't the case. From a neutral's perspective, obviously, look, I will give my own opinion, but from your thoughts on it, Ruben Amorim, the second favourite to take on what is one of the biggest jobs in world football. Only 39. Yes, he's won the league with Sporting. Looks like he's on his way to win the league now. But are you surprised? Like, the odds, by the way, is Ruben Amorim, and second favourite is De Zerbi.
Yeah,
for the one of the biggest jobs in world football.
It's because
De Zerbi going from Brighton to Liverpool.
Yeah, it's because there doesn't seem to be that talent out there, does there?
Strange.
We talk about De Zerbi in such high regard, don't we? We really do. And ultimately, I think he's done a very good job at Brighton. But I don't think he's done a very good job to get one of the most sought after offices in world football. Like the Liverpool office, when you think about what that office represents, has got to be top 3 jobs in world football. Certainly top 5 jobs in world football. Certainly top 5 jobs. And I don't think doing particularly well with Brighton is the track record. When you think about what Liverpool have appointed in the past, it would be, the track record would be so much more severe, so much more prestigious.
Yeah, and you're right. And I mean, look, we don't really follow the Portuguese league too much, right? We know some of the teams in there, but we don't follow it. But again, we just spoke about how untalented really the Bundesliga is now. I mean, the Portuguese league is less.
Yeah,
this isn't the days of when Jose Mourinho won the Champions League with Porto and the UEFA Cup before then.
Yeah.
This isn't that. This isn't a manager that's coming with 2 European trophies and saying, I'm the daddy.
Yeah, even Villas-Boas. Even when Villas-Boas came in, he came in off the back of success, international European success.
Yeah.
Whereas Amorim's done very well, from what I understand. But yeah, I do think, look, it's a noble appointment. It's a progressive one. It's one for the future. It's quite exciting. But I do think there's a bit of jeopardy around it. What he's not, if for example, Liverpool, I know that this isn't even in the works, but say Liverpool were to do something like appoint Antonio Conte or appoint Thomas Tuchel or somebody with that proven pedigree, I would say there's no jeopardy. Look, these things can go wrong. Of course they can go wrong. But what you get with Thomas Tuchel, you know what you're going to get. What you get with Antonio Conte is a track record, a CV that goes back well over a decade.
Agreed.
Antonio Conte was winning Scudetto after Scudetto, wasn't he, with Paul Pogba in the team? Then he came to Chelsea and was fantastic for us. One of the best seasons I've had following Chelsea. There's no negotiation around that. When Thomas Tuchel came into Chelsea, he came in, he won the European Cup. It was as simple as that. He came in, he won the European Cup. Again, there's no real jeopardy. Those managers have, there are pitfalls with managers such as those. Those pitfalls aren't there with Amorim because he's new, he's young, he's perfecting his craft. But what I think you have to do when you appoint somebody as young as Amorim and as inexperienced, the job is a learning curve. There are going to be mistakes made. And I don't know if those mistakes should be being made at a club like Liverpool. I wonder if he should be perfecting his craft elsewhere and then moving to one of the most prestigious jobs in world football, rather than doing very well in the Portuguese league, but nothing internationally noteworthy.
My fear for him as well is the respect he might not get from the dressing room, because you're now looking at a dressing room that does have winners in it. Champions League winners. Sort of African Cup of Nation winners. There's winners in the dressing room. Captains. Remember me and you spoke about this before. I think Liverpool have got 6 international captains in the dressing room as well. When you're that young. And again, you don't bring a CV of trophies. I just wonder whether or not they look at you like
you're Villas-Boas. Yeah. You're Villas-Boas at Stamford Bridge, trying to tell Frank Lampard, trying to tell John Terry, trying to tell Petr Cech, trying to tell Didier Drogba what to do.
Didn't work, did it?
No. That was an example of player power. That was an example of it was a correct example of player power. It was an example of player power being utilised in its most perfect, true sense. They got Villas-Boas out, who was a dreadful manager, but ultimately, what he tried to do, Villas-Boas, was to bring in a new look Chelsea, almost get rid of the old guard. And the old guard basically said no. So there is potential pitfalls.
And by the way, there's a new look as well. He plays a 3-4-3. That's his formation. That's what he's done all season, what he did last season. Liverpool, I don't ever remember played a 3 at the back, 4-3. We've never. It's not what we do.
No,
it's not what we do.
No,
so
and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how Liverpool will be set for a 3-4-3 either in terms of personnel.
Yeah, what does that mean for Trent? Does he play in a 3 at the back, or does he go into midfield?
Exactly. Yeah. But what I would say is that it's a very good time to be taking over Liverpool because the feeling is high. The vote of confidence from Jurgen Klopp will give you an element of time. I think Liverpool fans are generally very patient with their managers anyway. And I think there must be an acceptance that he is perfecting his craft.
We are patient, but when you're rubbish, we're not.
No,
Roy Hodgson's the one, isn't he? When he came in, there was no patience whatsoever.
No. But I would also say that this Liverpool team, it's a good time to take over because although you do have the more established Van Dijk, Alisson, Salah would be the three that stand out.
In terms of age.
There's a lot of... Yeah, just also in terms of prowess, in terms of stature.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of very young, very impressionable, very eager to learn players at the club, which is a good time to take over. Like you'd certainly rather take over Cody Gakpo and Darwin Núñez, not for talent, nowhere near for talent, but you'd rather take them over than taking over Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino, who've won a European Cup.
Yeah,
you can't mould Sadio Mane.
Exactly.
It tell you to do one.
Yeah.
But he was at various points in his Liverpool career the best player in the world. Very difficult for a man like Amorim to tell him what to do. But you can craft and work with Cody Gakpo because he needs someone to craft and work with him at the moment.
It's a perfect segue here now to talk about the main man at Liverpool, and that is Mo Salah. We are hearing, this is confirmed by talkSPORT, that there understands that there is a strong interest that Mo Salah will once again be wanted by the Saudi Pro League. There was a lot of talk last season. He ended up staying. Now heavily linked, and it's funny because you think of all the players that have gone there, and I'm even including Ronaldo here. Mo Salah, because of his religion, I think will be the biggest thing for the Saudi Pro League. I think they would go all in for him, and whatever the cost, get Mo Salah, a Muslim player in a Muslim country, playing in the Saudi Pro League. I almost feel like it's done. I think he's gone.
There's another reason why I think it would be so huge for the Saudi League if they were to get Mohamed Salah this year. He's currently playing for Liverpool. There is a chance that Mo Salah ends this season as Premier League Golden Boot winner. Like he's in touching distance, depending on how the season progresses. He could easily win the Golden Boot. You know when Cristiano Ronaldo went there, or even N'Golo Kante, they went there as players who were kind of done. Even Jordan Henderson, although Jordan Henderson went there as the current Liverpool captain, in fact, it felt like that armband wasn't necessarily his for the long haul.
No, it was Van Dijk's.
Yeah. Whereas
Mo Salah's going there as basically our best player still.
Signing Mo Salah, it would be the statement signing, that's for sure.
Yeah. Let's hear from talkSPORT's Ben Jacobs on this Mo Salah to Saudi deal.
So it might be Al Ittihad. They'll certainly put their hand up and say they want Mo Salah, but it might be the Saudi champions, Al Hilal. I call them champions because they're miles clear. So they are going to win the league this season. And they're the ones that are going to be competing in the new expanded Club World Cup in 2025. So they had Salah on their list, but number 3 last summer, behind Neymar, who they got, and Lionel Messi, who they failed to sign. And Al Hilal are probably the more likely destination at the moment, but maybe Karim Benzema will be able to change perspectives because he, of course, is at Al Ittihad. He's not that happy. He wants somebody else to come in and score some goals. So the offer's going to be lower, but there's no doubt Saudi will try. And we wait and see whether Mo Salah wants to stay on in a post-Klopp era or, of course, leave this summer and then allow Liverpool that big fee.
Yeah, it pains me to say I just can't see how he does stay at Liverpool. I can't.
I think it's a disaster for Liverpool if he goes.
No, I don't think it is, if I'm honest with you. I don't think it is. I've always said this
you don't think it is, and then you try and replace him and you realise you can't. It's like when Chelsea let Drogba go and we felt like we were fine. And then we had to get Drogba back from Turkey. Like you can't. You're trying to replace the irreplaceable. And all of a sudden, as good as you think certain players are, depending on who...
For some weird reason, maybe it's just by pure luck, Liverpool have always, for some reason, had someone in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net.
You've had a good deputy.
We've always done it. No, even when Suarez went, I was like, we're never going to replace Suarez.
When the deputy becomes a number 1, it all changes. Trust me. Petrovic was great when he was just Chelsea's goalkeeper.
I'm not talking about the deputy. I'm talking about in terms of just the move from Fowler to Owen to Torres to Suarez to Salah. We've always had someone.
Yeah. But that's because you've been replacing quality with quality. And as much as I think Harvey Elliott's a very good footballer, if you think Harvey Elliott's going to replace Mohamed Salah, you're insane.
I don't think Harvey Elliott's going to replace. I think we signed someone. I don't know who.
But this is the problem. Even a player like Jarrod Bowen.
I didn't really know too much about Salah when we got him. I didn't know too much about his record.
But Salah came into a club. Salah came into Klopp. which is very different. Salah went into Klopp, which made Salah the player that he is, in the way that virtually every player has benefited from being Klopped. It's going to be a very different strategy.
You know what it is, Rory, and you've been through it. Like, the pain of these players leaving, I just accept it now. Like, before there was like when Torres left for you boys, I was definitely in tears. Now it's like, they're going to go.
You're going to end up in tears. When Salah leaves, you'll end up in tears because you'll really struggle.
He's given us 7 great seasons.
You will never, ever have a player on the wing like that again. Ever.
No, never. Ever.
You will never see the likes of it again. But you seem to be suggesting that Mohamed Salah leaving is something that you can kind of ride. We can ride it and we can challenge again next year. There will be a complete and utter breakdown in Liverpool Football Club when he leaves.
There was a time of stop.
There will.
Absolutely.
There will.
Calm down.
Suddenly your front line becomes Gakpo.
No, suddenly the front line shares the goals as opposed to, it's almost a bit like the Arsenal lot.
Arsenal
don't have someone that gets 50. Arsenal has someone that gets 15, 13 and 20.
You used to share them.
Mane,
Firmino, Salah when you were winning European Cups. Let's see how many you share out now between Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez.
All I know is it's not going to be Nkunku up front and it's not going to be Nicholas Jackson.
You might be better than Chelsea, but if that's what you're aiming for, you need to aim slightly higher than that. You're in big trouble when Mohamed Salah leaves because he is incomparable.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.